Hello everyone, I am JV and Dr. Mohammad Mehraj Alam, Assistant Professor of Economics, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In this section of video, I will discuss about the remaining part of the impact of economic reform on Indian economy. This is the part of Indian economy paper which taught at the second semester of BA program. In the previous video of this topic, I have discussed lots about it and discuss on the different aspect and the points, how and when uh, economic reform have impacted on the Indian economy on its different aspect. In this video, I will particularly discuss the remaining part of the impact of economic reform on Indian economy. Export, import, and employment. Let's see the impact of economic reform on export sector, import sector, and employment sector. I have discussed about the length about the employment impact of economic reform on employment. In fact, the expansion in export following globalization of the Indian economy has led to a large expansion in employment in the export sector. One of the objectives of foreign trade policy has been to make it an instrument of employment generation. In 2004-5, against export of 80 billion US dollar, total employment growth in the export sector was 16 million. Okay, so in 2004-5, in the export sector, the maximum employment created was in agriculture product, followed by mineral product, textile articles, and prepared food stuff and beverage, etc. However, while the export has recovered robust growth in recent years, the corresponding growth of labor-intensive goods and slowed down. We thus see that export promotion under globalization has promoted employment growth rather than reducing it. However, it is claimed by many that liberalization of imports as a result of globalization of the Indian economy has adversely affected employment situation in India. This is because small and medium enterprises which have large employment potential could not compete with the cheap imports from the developed countries, right, and China. This led to closure of several small and medium enterprises, resulting in loss of employment opportunities. Thus, whereas the growth of export has led to increased employment opportunities, cheap imports from the abroad have tended to reduce them, which effect on employment has been stronger in anybody's guess. However, as seen from the different data table, the organized sector there has been net 0.05% growth in employment per annum in the organized sector, in the public and the private sector taken together during 1994-2008. Okay, so this was the case of export, import, and employment sector. As we all know that the economic reform takes place with the help of privatization, with the help of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, in which Indian economy have opened to the world economy. But at the time of economic reform, the domestic industry, especially MSMEs, medium, small, and micro enterprises, which were which is the still is the largest source of employment. If you talk about the total employment in the industries, MSMEs still provides the 80% employment to the Indian people. After the economic reform, the MSME sector of India faces lots of challenges, especially in the product quality, innovation, markets, prices, prices of raw materials, transportation, etc. Because after the economic reform, the floods of goods have come to India. Country like China and other European and American countries have taken huge advantage from India's globalization position, India's economic reform. If you compare to the benefits of globalization or economic reform, especially in the industrial aspect, Indian industry did not receive much benefit from the globalization, especially MSME sector, because most of the MSMEs was protected by the government, protected and supported by the government because there were huge number of employment provided to the Indian people. But after the globalization, the Indian economy opened up their door to the world economy, world market, and the competition which arises after the economic reform did not face by the MSME sector. Some of them were forced to shut down their units. Most of the units collapsed because their financial position were not healthy as much as should be and as it required to compete with the foreign companies. Chinese goods were flooded in Indian market as a substitute of Indian MSC's product. And the Chinese product were cheaply available in India's market compared to India's domestically produced goods. Okay, so this was the case of India's MSME, especially. That's why policymakers think thinks about that. For the MSMEs, globalization or economic reform were not beneficial as much as it should be. Okay. Now come to the next part of the topic, that is foreign capital inflow, FDI and portfolio investment. As I told you earlier about the investment, right? In any country of the world, investment, foreign investment take place by two way and a given two name. One is FDI and the second one is the portfolio investment, right? The FDI and portfolio comes with the foreign capital inflows, right? When investment takes place in the physical infrastructure of the country is known as foreign direct investment. When it takes place in the financial market, known as financial market and the money market, were known as foreign institutional investment, right? Policies of the liberalization of private capital inflow have led to increase in foreign investment flows. Policies of liberalization of private capital inflows have led to increase in foreign investment flows in the country, both in the terms of direct investment and portfolio investment. Profile of foreign investment flow is given in uh, it will seen from the annual total investment in flow were about 4.1 billion US billion dollar in 2000 in 1993 rose to about 6.1 billion US dollar in 1996-97 and varied a lot after that but reached $15.7 billion in 2003-4 and a record figure of $29 billion in 2006-7. In the year 1998-99, there was negative portfolio investment inflows following the East Asian crisis in 1997-1998. Right. In the year 2006-7 and 2007-8, foreign investment inflows in India had been quite substantial, indicating the rising confidence of international investors in the Indian economy. In the year 2006-7, foreign direct investment (FDI) 20.8 billion US dollar and portfolio investment of 7 billion US dollar came into India. In 2006, in 2007-8, foreign direct investment of 34.8 billion US dollar was made in India. In fact, India became a favorite destination for foreign direct investment. Besides, in the year 2007-8, about 27.2 billion US dollar were brought into India by foreign institutional investment for purposes of equity shares portfolio investment. However, in 2008-9, following the subprime housing loans provided by American banks, financial crisis occurred in American and Western Europe, which created liquidity crunch in their economies and redemption pressure on securities held by FIIs increased very much. To fulfill the liquidity needs of their parent countries, FIIs sold shares in the Indian stock market on large scale and repatriated dollars. The large scale of shares by FIIs and capital outflows not only caused crash in Indian stock market, but also resulted in the large depreciation of Indian rupees. Besides, the world financial crisis caused global meltdown which affected capital inflows into India through FDI. However, there was a reversal of portfolio capital inflows in 2009-10. In 2009-10, India attracted foreign direct investment of $37.7 billion and portfolio investment of $32.3 billion in 2009-10, and therefore total foreign investment of $70.1 billion in 2009-10. Foreign investment in inflows further declined to in 2011-12 and 2012-13. So this was the case of FDI and FIIs during the economic reforms, and you may can say after the economic reforms in India. Effect of on foreign exchange reserve, right? What effect have been observed on the foreign exchange reserve? An important beneficial effect of the globalization of the Indian economy has been that its foreign exchange reserve have been substantially increased. In December 2003, our foreign exchange reserve crossed 1 billion US dollar and increased to 3 309.7 billion US dollar on February 2008. In 1991, we faced an acute foreign exchange crisis arising from continued deficit in the balance of payment for several years. It is this crisis that compelled us to shift to policy of of liberalization and globalization. At the end of March 1991, we had foreign exchange reserve of only about 6 billion US dollar, which were sufficient to cover only 2.5 months of import. At the end March 2007-8, foreign exchange reserve of nearly 310 billion US dollar were adequate enough to cover imports of 16 months. However, during 2008-9, There was a decline in foreign exchange reserve due to net capital outflows. At in March 2009, foreign exchange reserve declined to 250 billion US dollar, but there was a reversal of capital inflows in 2009-10. As a result, due to large capital inflows into the Indian economy, the foreign exchange reserve rose to 279 billion US dollar in the March 2010 and stood at around 306 billion dollar at in the March 2011. The huge accumulation of foreign exchange reserve has been possible only because of the policy of liberalization of foreign investment. Right. The major contributor to the dollar inflow in Indian economy was foreign institutional investors who invested in the Indian equity and the debt market in the year 2003-4. A loan capital inflow of 11.4 billion US dollar were brought by FIIs alone who invested in the Indian equity and the debt market. In the year 2007-8, appreciation of rupees caused large inflow of portfolio capital by FIIs, resulting in increase in foreign exchange reserve to $310 billion in the March 2008. So this was the case of foreign exchange reserve after the uh, economic reform. I think this is sufficient to access the and analyze the impact of economic reform on the Indian economy. Uh, Thank you so much watching this video, and I will appear again in the next video for the next topic. Thank you so much once again.